framework I want to introduce you to and cover today is the 6 human needs. Okay, the 6 human needs. And there are 4 of these human needs that we just, at a base level, we will find ourselves playing in these 4, and we'll work it out somehow. We'll probably play more in some than others. But they are how we live our life on a daily basis. Just excuse me just one moment. Do not disturb. So there's these 4. There's 4 that are just our core human behaviors, and then there are 2 which are, you call them like spiritual. Some people call them spiritual, but either whatever you call them, you have to seek these out. But they are a part of life. They're an important part of a fulfilled life. When we talk about an extraordinary life, they're an important part of that. But we've got to seek these ones out and deliberately and intentionally apply them. So what I want you to do on a piece of paper is I want you to have 6 boxes, okay? 2 columns, 6 boxes, 2 next to each other, like that, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 boxes. I'm going to go through them one at a time. I'm going to explain what they are. I'm going to get you to see what examples you might have in these boxes, and then bring it together with an example to show you how powerful it is, a process, a framework. And then we'll take it from there, okay? So the very first box up here is certainty. Certainty. Write that down. Certainty. Really important. Certainty. And look, we all kind of like a bit of certainty in our life, right? It's it's why it's a core human need. We like a bit of certainty. You know, what does this mean? When you think that stress, fear, anxiety is caused by the unknown, it's caused by uncertainty. When we get a level of certainty in our life, then it helps us reduce the stress. And that's really, really important, right? Because we don't want to be stressed out all the time. So certainty is really important, but you can apply it to anything, right? The certainty that your partner is going to be there, after you finish from work, or or you're going to hook up in the evening, or it can be a certainty that you've got that pattern, that habit, that routine of fitness. It's that certainty of the foods available in your house, or the certainty of an income, right? How often do we need the income because we're working for the business and we need that income to pay the bills. So having that certainty that that's going to be taken care of, that reduces a heck of a lot of stress, right? So you can look at it in any area of life, but certainty is such an important thing. There's just one caveat with certainty. Okay, in that if we live in certainty, if we're trying to seek certainty in everything we do, we're going to end up quite stressed. We're going to end up not in a great place because the world is not certain. Stuff is happening all of the time. We can have best laid plans. We can plan something out to the nth degree. We can have routines and patterns and habits, but you know what? Life still happens, and sometimes it kind of goes surprise. And I've felt this because I was very much I wanted to know, I wanted that certainty, especially in my corporate life. And when then, I'd plan it out and it was like to the T, like to the second, and exactly what was going on. And then something would come in here and it would completely freak me out. Now, who can kind of resonate with that? You've got a plan, and it doesn't matter. It can be any sort of plan, and then something comes left field, and you're so ingrained in the plan that you go, "Well, hey, what? I haven't got time for this inconvenience in my plan. I've got it all planned out." I tell you what, it used to cause me inordinate amounts of anxiety and stress, because I couldn't deviate from my plan. So certainty is great, but we need a bit of flexibility within that. And because stuff is always going to happen. Something's always going to, and you know, extraordinary life on our terms, great. And we don't want the external world dictating our happiness and our quality of life. That is fine. But stuff will always happen, and we have a choice how we respond to that. So if our mindset is, need certainty, need certainty, need certainty, I need to know exactly what's going to happen, exactly when and who, and if we're looking for that and something happens, and that the response we're going to give is stress and fear and anxiety and uncertainty, and we're going to go into a flat spin, rather than being able to go, oh, okay, well, I did have this plan. Right, we just might need to adapt, or might just need to delay, or I've got a way that I can respond to this. Does that make sense? Because certainty it's such an important thing to have, but when we rely on it too much, it can really cause us problems. I'm going to check out the comments. Yes, unforeseen situations always pop up. Indeed, they do. Absolutely, need to be adaptable too. Indeed, right? So great. So you get it. But I tell you what, the amount of times that something happens and we catch ourselves in this moment of we thought this was going to happen, and then something else happens, then we go and even if it's just for a moment, for a short period of time, when we look at this framework, when we know where we're playing, we can adapt, we can respond in a way that's going to be more productive for us, more positive for us, and reduce our stress. This framework, I use it with clients. I use it to reduce their stress in moments when we go through it. One call, you can go from absolute, totally stressed, anxious, fear-based, not thinking rationally, not thinking clearly. I use this framework and the question, obviously, by the end of the call, complete calm. Know exactly what they're going to do. So certainty is your first one. Now I want you just right now, while we're talking about certainty, what is something? Give an example. Even put it in the comments. I'd love to see it, or write it down. What is something that you frequently look for certainty on? Yeah, there's no judgment or anything. I'm not trying to catch you out. It's like just an example of where you play with certainty. And it could be that certainty of, I'm looking for that, seeking that certainty for income, for example. You know, what kind of example have you got for certainty? Sometimes we react rather than respond when stressed. Yes, we do. We absolutely do, Misha. We absolutely do. The emotion, the chimp paradox, right? The chimp kicks in before all the logical brain kicks in, and before we know it, we're like, we're actually literally just seconds to rein that in, let the logical brain kick in, and then we can make a more adaptable response. So, you've got an example where you play in certainty, and that's cool. And this is kind of like something that you frequently do, not like once in a blue moon. Where do you play in certainty on a frequent basis? Right, the second one is the polar opposite, right? So we've got certainty, now we're going for uncertainty. Right? Uncertainty. It's like, well, that's a bit weird. But this is, look at it as variety or surprises. I mean, some people don't like surprises, some people do. But if you look at it as a sense of variety, then this one makes even more sense. Because, you know, if you're just in a job and you're just doing this, you're just tapping it into the computer all day, every day, pretty monotonous, and you haven't got the variety there, and therefore your level of happiness and fulfillment is going to be massively impacted, right? If you have too much uncertainty, though, in an uncertain world, if you absorb all that uncertainty all the time, and you don't have the things that you could rely on or that you're planning for, or then you're going to be very, very stressed. Yeah, I'm sure we can see that. You know, it only takes a restructure or an announcement, or yes, we can choose what to happen. But if we absorb it, if we're not conscious of that, if we're not, like Jim Rohn says, standing guard at the door of our mind and going, right, okay, do I need to let this in or not? if we're letting all the uncertainty in and we're living in that space, then it's going to cause us an awful lot of stress. And this is a really common one for people maybe starting a business or have got a business and that income level isn't coming in. The clients aren't coming in. And it's a great business. They're passionate about it. They can add loads of value and it's wonderful. But there's just a disconnect probably in the business side, right? And there's probably firstly up here psychologically in terms of mindset and the philosophy of what they're doing. And then there's some practical steps in the business world that then would actually make a massive difference. But when we are completely stressed like that, we're not getting it. We're not getting that level of income. We're not getting the level of certainty in terms of clients. And all of a sudden, our whole world is falling apart. Well, that makes sense. Just checking out the comments. I just want to keep abreast of things. It's cool. So that's an uncertainty or variety. Again, have a little think. Where do you play in variety? What is it that you regularly go to? What do you like about? Well, it could be positive, or maybe it's something that doesn't serve you. But where do you play frequently in uncertainty? Have a little think and just jot something down right now, because it makes a difference as to you suddenly, like I say, this isn't just a framework. This is like now you start applying it to your life and go, well, actually, certainty plays quite a bit over here. Uncertainty plays quite a bit over here. If there's a lot of stress, chances are uncertainty. If you're trying to hold the reins too tightly on certainty, then more stress. So it's a delicate balance, right? I'm just having a look. I'm just keeping up. Let's have a little look. Dun, 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 dun. Right, so certainty, uncertainty, plus you've got a couple of examples now of where you play in these two things. Right, the third one is significance. Okay, significance. Now this is, there's a whole playing field with this one. But this is about you, and it can be interpreted so many ways. It's like ego, power, influence, title in business, especially in corporate, people throwing around their title and their status, wanting to be seen to be right, that kind of thing. On a softer but more positive light, it can also be about your identity and knowing yourself. Who are you? What do you stand for? What don't you stand for? What's your core beliefs? What's your values? Who are you? That purpose, that kind of identity. And with significance, again, I relate it back to work. A lot of people have a lot of significance attached to their work, the work that they do. And, it's okay to do that. The danger is, though, when they then retire or they swap jobs or there's a restructure and they get made redundant or things aren't quite going to plan with the business, their identity is so caught up in that they've lost themselves. When that's taken away or it's not as prominent, they suddenly wonder, who am I? I feel lost. What can I do? So it is a really common one with retirement. People have worked, so many years, 40, 50 odd years, and then they retire, but all they knew was that work. This is old school because obviously people move around quite a lot now. But then that day after retirement, they've been looking forward to it. But then the day after, it's like, wow, I don't really know who I am because I've lost my purpose. So this is something to be really conscious of. It is, it is good to have that identity and to be passionate about what you do and all that kind of stuff. It's how are you using this human need of significance? How are you using it positively or maybe in ways that don't serve you? And how could you manage that? And I just want you to give yourself an example. So when it comes to significance, your identity, who you are, what you stand for, What's an example of that? You know, when you think about yourselves, what do you think? Write it down now, and then you're going to have a third one, right? Just a third example. We're not going to, we're not going massively deep on this. It's just some examples. But it really helps to know where you're playing. I've got some more comments. I'm just going to, whilst you're doing that, I'm going to have a look at the comments. Values, important for you, to you personally. Yeah, not what others think of you. Judge only yourself. Yeah, that's great, Sam. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is about your, and Tom Bilyeu says it wonderfully. It's about what you think about yourself when you're by yourself. Yeah, not looking for validation from anyone else, not their opinions. Can you sit by yourself, with yourself, thinking of yourself, and think positively about you? It's that kind of identity. So your values, really important. Thanks, Sam. I used to place a significance on a job title initially. Absolutely, yeah. Don't worry, loads of people do that. Hey, I used to. You get senior in your job title. It's like, but it's how you then use that. Personally, yeah, I liked that, but I used that then to help and support the people that weren't at a senior level. And that was then utilizing it in a good way. But I know so many people that were utilizing it in a power-hungry influencer way, my way or the highway, dictatorship kind of way. And that's not so good. But you can easily, when you get this framework, hi Sabda, by the way, thanks for joining us. When you look at the framework, you can see where people are playing. And this is the enlightenment, not just for yourself, but you suddenly see where other people are playing. So significance, yes, absolutely. So you used to place a lot of significance in job title, almost lost a sense of purpose and definition now. Yeah. You can, yeah. When you lose that or you move, then you're going, well, who the hell am I? What am I all about? Because I was all about the job. It's all about the job. All good now, though. Absolutely. You're rocking it, right? You know who you are, Venetia. It's beautiful. And it's good to see that your journey, right? It's good to appreciate and acknowledge how far you've come. So just coming in the comments, lovely. So 6 human needs, Sevda. So we've covered certainty, we've covered uncertainty, and we've covered significance. We're going to go on to the fourth one now, right? This is the fourth of the 4 core human needs, yeah? So you are going to play in these areas no matter what. Okay, so the last one here is love and connection. Does it require an explanation? Love and connection. We're talking family, friends, community. Now, again, for your own example, how often do you play in this area? What's important to you in love and connection? It's interesting because there's often a disconnect because people, they love their family dearly. They do anything for them. But they're like burning themselves out with work because they're trying to support them. Which means they're not spending time with them. And they're burning themselves out so they're not very well as well. So they can't spend quality time with their love and connection, their family. And then that causes all kinds of pressure and stress and ill health. And it's a strange one, right? Because love and connection, because their family is everything to them. But somehow we lose sight of it. We might be playing what we might be playing is in a world of uncertainty. We might be going, well, I need to pay the bills. I need to make sure that I'm cutting the checks in order to support my family. But this scarcity mindset over money makes them work harder and harder and longer, leaving their family behind. Yeah, they're able to pay the bills, but their family just wants them. So it's really important to understand where this is and where you play a lot and how you're viewing love and connection. Use an example, check it out. we're just going to have a little look at the comments again. Just going to refresh. We don't all love our family. We don't all love our family. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. This is an important one, Sebda, because we can't choose family. Not blood family, but we can choose non-blood family. So when I say I'm part of the Sales Academy family, for example, they're family. When I call the Extraordinary Life family a family, I mean it. We're family. We're here to support you and serve you and help you in any way we can, and any way I can. I treat you like family. I don't believe in creating a group. For example, I've said it before, I don't believe in groups. I believe in community. I believe in family. And so who you choose to be in your circle and treat as family to that extent is really important. Really important. So yeah, I'm getting some comments come up here now, so that's good. Now you can choose them, but you can choose your friends and love them. Exactly. You love your friends to a level that maybe you don't love your family to because of circumstances or whatever. So love and connection, really important to kind of understand where you're playing, what your mindset is in that, how often that is coming, playing up in your life or coming up in your life, and whether it's a positive thing or not serving you, or whether you've lost sight of it, for example, in the business example that I used. So look, before I go on to the last two, what I want to do is I want to bring this to life for you, because here's how they can all be connected. Obviously confidentiality and all that kind of stuff, but I've recently been working with a client, and they came to me and they were really, really stressed. They haven't slept. They are in bits. Their fear levels are off the chart. Their anxiety levels are off the charts. They are in a real state. And that's where we start at the conversation. And I knew this was coming because we've had messages and we know what's coming. But they are beside themselves. So looking at this, so we start peeling back, right? And there's this business decision. This business decision that needs to be made. And there's a lot riding on it. They know it's been coming. So there's some certainty about it was always coming, but it's a bit like retirement. Yeah, you look forward to retirement, and then retirement happens and you go, oh, what do I do now? It's a different state when you actually get to the point of the change. Or the decision that needs to be made. So there was this decision that needs to be made. They were really worried about it. Their identity was their significance was all in this organization, this company that they had built. And you can get that if you put your heart and soul into building a company. There's a lot in there. There's a lot of identity there. But it looks like we're going to be pulling away over here, or that's certainly one of the options. But they didn't know whether clients would come with them. They didn't know whether they would be able to get new clients. And obviously, as a result, they didn't know whether they could support their family. So there's all this fear based on, one, there's this decision and I don't know what to do. Two, no matter what decision I make, I don't know where the clients are going to come from or whether anybody's going to trust me or anything like that. And bottom line is I want to support my family. I don't think I can. And by the way, my significance, my identity feels all tied up with this company over here. So you can see all four playing, right? But what's the biggest one that's happening here? Biggest one here is uncertainty, right? Massively uncertain about the decision because they haven't made the decision yet. Massively uncertain about the consequence, the impact of that decision on clients, on the business, on their identity, on their family. Massively playing in uncertainty. And like we said, when you play massively in uncertainty, you are going to be stressed and anxious and full of fear. And this is what this person was coming to me with. Okay? So we can see this, and so it's a case of, right, okay, well, what do we need to do? We need to peel away some of the layers, because as we know with like stress and anxiety, there's a lot of what ifs. So if I do this, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what if this happens? And before you know it, you haven't paid your bills and you're on the street. Yeah, I know that from all the what ifs in my corporate life. Yeah. You know, if I get a bad performance review, which was never on the cards, but if I wasn't good enough in some form or shape or form, and somebody would pick me up on it, then I'd get a bad performance review and I wouldn't get a pay rise, and I wouldn't get a bonus, and then I'd be out in the next restructure and I wouldn't be able to pay the bills, and then my wife would leave me, and then my kids would leave me, and then I'll be destitute and I'll be on the streets. Literally, that's my thought process. That's how that was the spiral of fear for years for me. So this whole uncertainty, as an aside, this whole uncertainty for this client, it was like, right, well, let's just strip back some of these what ifs in the stories. What are actually the facts? Well, let's have a little look, because the emotions are high. Let's strip back the facts, okay? Because what we need to do is we need to get some certainty in your life. So what exactly is the decision? Okay, there's the decision. And I'll be honest, within like a couple of minutes of them talking to me, I knew the decision they were going to make. It was obvious, but they were worried. They were scared of that decision because of all the what ifs, and the uncertainty and the fear. So it's a case of, right, okay, let's just strip it back. What's the decision? Right, okay, we can go left or we can go right. Okay. Right. Okay. So we know that's the first thing that we need to look at. Okay, so you're worried about, because also what's happening here in the uncertainty is scarcity, right? It's like everything is going to happen yesterday. So it's like, if I make this decision, then no clients, no business, no income, no everything. So it's like, well, how immediate is this? And this is, hopefully this will resonate with you, because you strip it back and go, well, how immediate is this? It's like, well, actually, I got like 4 to 6 months before, the decision I make is actually implemented. And it's like, whoa, okay, right, okay. The fear and the uncertainty caused by, if I make this decision, it's all going to go to pot right now, my life is going to go to the wall. So, oh, right, okay, we strip out, let's take back some of the emotion, the facts. I got this decision to make, and I can implement that decision over 4 to 6 months, not hours, not days, not weeks, months. Okay, that's fine, okay. So, but you're worried about the clients, and you're worried about the money situation. Yeah, I was. But I'm okay for at least 6 months. Right, okay. So we strip this back. So hold on. So all that fear and anxiety and stress and worry about, I got this massive decision, it's going to affect everything, and it's all going to fall apart because I just don't know. There's way too many what ifs. All of a sudden, we've got a very clear decision to be made, a very clear time scale in which to make it, and financially, we're going to be fine. And also, during this conversation, beautiful, they came up with this, nice little bit of coaching, but they came up with this. They realized their significance, their identity wasn't all caught up in the company that they had helped build with this other person. What they realized was they were the brand. They were the brand. People do business with people, and the certain business that they're in, people do business with people. And it's the relationships that are strong. It's the relationships that build that. The name of the company, no matter what it was, it's not as important as you think. And this light bulb moment for my client was amazing. Because all of a sudden, We've moved from uncertainty into certainty about the decision, certainty about the time frame, certainty about the money, and certainty about your significance and your identity. That thing you thought you were going to lose, and it's like, actually, no, it's me. I'm always going to be here. As a result of all of that, we've then got certainty for love and connection. We've got certainty that we're going to be able to look after our family. And the beautiful thing about this is, because it's 4 to 6 months out, we've got time to plan. So it's not like, yes, they're going to go on to a new adventure and it's going to be wonderful, but you can plan that. It's not like you're just going to switch it off and then wait for the phone to ring and go, oh, is it going to work or isn't it going to work? You've got time to plan, warm people up, get people on board. Share this example because I feel it hopefully it's resonating. It doesn't have to be a big, massive business decision. But something happens. Something's either come in and you know about it, or something happens, or something you're going to take control of, and then we get worried about it. We start stacking all the fear, all the anxiety, all the what ifs, which means we then live in uncertainty to the detriment of everything else. But if we can use this framework to say, right, okay, where am I? What's story? What's fact? How can I move forward? What's the first thing that I need to do to make a decision on, a choice on? And let's just do that first, and then let's look at the actual facts of the matter. And a lot of it is time or money with many people, or who we're getting involved with. If we can start getting some clarity, some certainty over that, all of a sudden our anxiety, our stress reduces significantly. That's not to say that something left field might not come. Of course, it's life, right? We've talked about that. Life is uncertain. But when we're talking about decisions and choices and things in our control, we've really got to strip it back and make sure that we're dealing with the facts, not all the stories that we tell ourselves, because we're great storytellers. Our brain is wired to look for all the danger out there and all the what ifs. It keeps us safe. But what it can do is it can overwhelm us with all that, not realizing that there's actually a whole lot of good stuff that's coming because of change or because of a choice we're going to make that means that we're going to do something slightly differently. And even if we haven't planned it, something comes left field, there's still a way that we can respond, like we're going to talk about in the comments. There's still a way that we've got, right, okay, well, I thought I was certain, I'm not. How can I be flexible? How can I adapt this? What are the facts of it? Does it mean my whole plan is shot to pieces, or actually is it just a pause button? And sometimes left field things are opportunities, and that happens time and time again. And again, a little bit of learning in terms of business. We do a business plan, 90-day plans, all that kind of stuff, and we get so ingrained in that. It's actually something that puts people off of planning because they think, oh, yeah, but I don't want to plan because what if this happens or this opportunity comes? Well, that's great. You're planning for success. You can allow other opportunities to come in and then you put them in the plan. The plan is just the route to get you to the ultimate destination. Your ultimate destination isn't going to change, but your plan can change. If you get invited to a podcast that wasn't in your plan, you're not going to turn it down, right? You're going to go, that's a bit inconvenient. I mean, well, some people do because it's not in the plan. They go, oh, I can't do that because I'm doing this over here. I say, yeah, but what would be more beneficial to your business? Let's spend some time doing this right now, and then we can get back on plan afterwards, because this might actually propel us forward even quicker than we thought. How are we doing with comments? Give me a big old example there. And the comments are coming in. I think I had an M on board as well. Thanks, M, for joining. Oh, Sevda, God bless you. You are my family. That means a lot. Hey, don't. You're going to make me tear up. That is really sweet. Thank you. Stop me in my tracks. My biggest family, my spiritual one. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Right on. Biggest freedom when dropped. My adopted family, they became the thorn in my side. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We talked about your family. Brilliant. Well done, everybody. Keep, we are all your family, Sevda. That's a beautiful line. Venetia, thank you. Yeah, you're right. We talk about it. Extraordinary life family. We're all here to support each other. And last week, connections were being made between people because they were going, oh, I've got this, I think like this too, or I've got this challenge in my life, or I'm you know, this is something I want to work on. Oh, you want to work on it too. Put the two together, you've got an accountability partner, you've got somebody that you can go through it together. You know, we talked about habits, responsibility. It was about actually bringing people together and doing it together because you're more likely to then take action on it. So beautiful, absolutely. So, family, certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection. And you should have some ideas there about your own life. Just have a little look at it. Where you play the most. And this, you know, I'll ask this question, you know, and write it down or identify it yourself. Where do you play the most out of those four? Because we tend to play in like two areas. We you know, it's all part of our life, but there are two that we usually lean towards on a more frequent basis. And like I said, if somebody is constantly stressed, then obviously the uncertainty is going to be there, for example. But equally, it can be if you're trying to plan everything to the nth degree and it doesn't go to plan, then that's going to be causing you stress. So it's kind of where are you playing and how are you looking at these four areas. I will just finish that story actually with the client, because at the end of it, their words, you know, they went from this absolutely stressed out of their mind situation, you know, within the hour, it was much less than an hour. Their word, I'm calm. And it was the calmest they'd been in ages. So right, okay, right, we've got calm. They knew exactly what the next 3 steps. I'm into the power of 3. You know, if you've got more than 3, then you know it becomes a very long list. You know, let's just do the power of 3. They knew the next 3 steps that they needed to take, and actually, they'd already made the decision. They already knew step 1. They'd already done that. So it was the next 2 steps. And the beautiful thing that they said was, and I used this because they said they could go left or they could go right. And they said, you know what, I thought I was going left, but really, I'm going right. And here's the beautiful thing about that. So they were making the decision that for them wasn't the left decision, it was the right decision. And he said, and it's not just right in terms of choices, it's the right decision to make. They attached meaning to the words they were using and the decision they made. That is one of the most powerful things any of us can do. We can say anything, but if we can say, oh, we're going to do this and it's going to be great, but if we're actually behind the scenes, the meaning we've attached to it is, I don't really want to do this, or I'm really unsure about this, and this ain't going to work. If we're attaching that meaning to it, then you know what? We ain't going to take the action. We're not going to get the result that we were looking for. So I loved this. Again, it came to this conclusion. It was the right decision. Now they got that right mentality, that right meaning. They were going to make it happen. And so the beautiful thing about this story as well, just bringing it all full circle, because you know the foundations for an extraordinary life: honesty, clarity, and purpose. So during this call, we had massive amounts of honesty, huge amounts of honesty. It was clear that we needed clarity, we needed certainty, and then the passion and the purpose, we always say, is to do the action. The thing about this was, the sticking point was the decision, because what they came to realize is, when they had made the decision they were going to go right, they were really, really excited about it. They were passionate about it. They were like over the moon about it. And yet this was the same person that was completely stressed out of their mind at the beginning of the call. But when you start peeling back, it goes, well, actually, the stopper was this decision. And, you know, I get it. Making a decision is tough sometimes, especially if it's a big decision. But what was beautiful is we went honesty, clarity. He already had the passion and the purpose. That was going. We just needed to get them to that moment where they'd made the decision, and then the next 3 steps, which were facts, not fiction, and then the passion and purpose will see them forward in terms of their planning and their results and what's coming next. So we've just used 2 frameworks there and how it all comes together. Now look, you can see this in other people. Look at it for yourself, but also you'll see when you're aware of it, you'll see it in other people. You'll go, oh yeah, they said that. Or the look in their eyes, yeah, you've got a lot of uncertainty going on there. You're not going to say that to them, right? But what it does is it helps you communicate. Because if you know that maybe there's something there that's really worrying them, really stressing them, there's uncertainty in their life, or from their conversation, it's like, well, they've not got clarity on this, and that's probably what's causing them. How could you help? How could you help, peel away some of the stories they're telling themselves? And equally, if you've got somebody who's really, really stressed at work and they're working long hours and they're like crazy working, just like I used to do in the corporate world and lose all sight of things, but down at the bottom of their heart that they love their family dearly, but they're just not spending time with them anymore. You now know, yeah, great, love and connection is there, but they're playing massively in probably significance and certainty. They're trying to get the certainty of their income, but in an uncertain world, it's completely stressing them out. But if we can ease back on the stories and just do what's required and make positive choices, then we can make life easier for ourselves and we can help others through. So those are the 4 core areas of the human needs. How are we doing? Let me just have a little look. More comments. It's quite exciting. Oh, I don't want me. Hello. Okay, right. Not playing. So uncertainty and significance for you, Sam. Okay, cool. The journey, the destination remains the same. Yeah, we talked about that. That's brilliant. Thanks, Sam. So uncertainty and significance for you. Okay. And again, there's no judgment on this. It's just like, as long as you know where, because everyone plays in these 4, no matter what happens. What's important is how often are we playing and what's the meaning that we're giving to that? Because each of these can be really positive, but they can also work against us if the meaning attached to it isn't quite as positive as it could be, or we lose ourselves in one of these areas. Like I've laboured the point to get that message across. So look, those are the 4 core ones. There are 2 others. I'll try and wrap it up. There are 2 others. But these are, and Sevda will love this because these are more spiritual. These are the ones you have to seek this out. Because it's not as a kind of a natural thing. There's all these other things are happening that's kind of natural, but these you've got to seek out. But they are the juice. They are the juice to the success in life, to fulfillment and joy in life. And they're the key to an extraordinary life. So just want to go through these last 2 with you and make sure that you can understand those. I'm just looking at the comments again. They've just come up again there. So the first one of these, so we've got these, now we're down here, the last 2 on your 6. The first one is growth. So we're talking growth, development, improvement, that kind of thing. Human beings are literally built to grow, physically and mentally. If you think about it, like maybe in your life, or you've seen somebody else and they are just doing the same thing day in, day out. There's just no growth. There's no improvement. There's no extra knowledge going in there. There's no extra skills in there. How happy and fulfilled is somebody in that state? If you're not learning something new, if you're not absorbing new information, new knowledge, picking up new skills, having new experiences, if you've not got that, then man, does that suck the juice out of life. Yes, woo! Growth is what you're all about. Absolutely, Sandy. Yes, you are. But we've got to go after that. We've got to seek that out. Because it doesn't happen naturally. Because we could just sit still and do nothing. So it requires intention. It requires us to do something deliberately. It requires action on our part. And I'm going to come on to a little bit more about it. But that's, when we're talking about an extraordinary life, the reason why we're here, an extraordinary life family, this is what it's all about. This is, if you want to call it an industry, this is the industry I play in. This is my passion, my purpose. I don't have a job, I don't have a career. I've said that, I've left that way behind. This is my mission, my purpose is to help other people based on my experiences and the experiences of others, to help you live your most, your best life, your most extraordinary life. So this is growth and development. You're here right now because of that one, that fifth human need. You're here right now because of that one, because you saw that there would be value in what I was going to say, and you might be able to improve your life as a result of it, or have a better awareness, a better understanding. You'll be able to use that, and somehow that's going to bring value to your life. It's why you were there for the 5-day step up last week, for that reason. One of the I'll come on to it a bit later, but or soon. One of the things in this is really, really easy to have an amazing event and have all this knowledge, and then afterwards kind of feel like, well, that was really great, and I was in the routine of learning and showing up, and ooh, what do I do now? And a lot of people, when they go to events, they come out afterwards and they don't have the support. They don't have the people that can then, they haven't got access to usually the speakers that have been at these events, and they feel a bit lost. And all that beautiful momentum that they had, all that beautiful knowledge, they don't get to the opportunity really to then put that into experience, which then leads to wisdom, which impacts their life, and then they can impact other people's life. Why I love you, we think the same. Thanks, Esther. So what I want to make sure for you right now is that this extraordinary life family is not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm here. I'll still be rocking up on the Mondays. I gave you a day off yesterday. But I'll be rocking up on the Mondays, doing mini trainings. I'll be giving the prompts. We'll be dining on this stuff for a long time, making sure that you've got the support. My inner circle is still here. Like I say, I wanted to make this different because a lot of events you don't have access to the speakers. You get access to the sales team or the VA or the people that they've trained. And that's cool at a certain level of whatever, then that's just how they play out. But I want to make sure that you can actually access each and every one of us. So this is really important to make sure that you can improve, not just kind of go, hey, wasn't that a great event, and then leave you be. And I'll come on to something that's going to help you with that even more and step it up. But I just want to go on to the 6th one for now. So growth, right now, how important is growth to you? Put it in your notes or write it in the comments. How important is growth to you, and where do you find that on a regular basis? Are you waiting for the next event, or do you actively seek it out? And I'm not talking about like just casually browsing social media and you happen to come across a really cool video that was inspirational. It's like, no, spending that time to actually go, right, I'm going to intentionally and deliberately improve myself, look for some wisdom. I'm going to read a book or listen to an audio book or a podcast, or sign up for that event, or whatever it might be. How are you feeding your mind? Because it's really important that we do that, because if we don't, then we'll stagnate, and human beings just do not like that. I growth in the past year surprised myself, to be honest. Yeah, brilliant, Manisha. I love surprising ourselves, right? Growth is key. Can't wait. Need to actively look for it. Yeah. There's no reason for waiting, but we get so caught up in our lives, and we haven't got the time, and we're busy, and we've got so many obligations and commitments and all that kind of stuff. So we get it, right? I get it. I've been there. Studying constantly. Sevda is, I believe, Sevda's nickname, if you don't mind me saying it, is the professor. He's always studying, absorbing all this new knowledge. But the thing is, the beautiful thing is when you live like this, and it's about success leaves clues, okay? So learn from the success of other people so that you can then improve your life in the same or similar way. Sorry I have to leave, but I'll catch you later. Thank you, Venetia. We'll just wrap up shortly anyway. So brilliant, thank you. It's about, learning from other people, applying it to your own life, but being then able to apply it to others. And this is where the sixth human need comes in: contribution. Contribution. And, a lot of people would say, well, contribution, what does that mean? Is that like charity? Yeah, okay, charity can be one of those things. So, man, I'll grow that at least once a month. Yes, once a month, at least, good. At least once a month, some mental growth. And again, it's not like you have to do it every single day. I mean, it's great if you can, so picking up on that. But if you've set aside some time each, either week or month, and you know that you're going to immerse yourself during that scheduled time, that's brilliant, right? It's a brilliant way to start. All about making the difference. Yes, you are, Sevda. So contribution, a lot of people say charity. Great, yeah, charity, and that can be financial, or it can be actually volunteering or working, it's making a difference, helping other people. I'm talking about, helping a neighbor or helping a friend. We don't have to put a lot of strategy behind this. This is about contribution. How you help other people, how you show up for other people. But also in business. And again, I just want to give you a little bit of side wisdom here for you to take forward, because a lot of people in business, I'm not saying you, a lot of people in business chase the money. And now you've got the framework because you know why they're chasing the money. It'll probably be, if it's like, I want to be a millionaire, it's significance, right? Okay. Ego, I want the yacht, I want the Beamer, or I want the Bentley, or, whatever it is, right? As, if it's just about the money, it's the significance. But there's also people that chase the money because they're uncertain, because they want to pay the bills. They don't want to let their families down. So it's really important to kind of understand that. But I want to reframe business for you. I want to reframe it. It's so important. It had a massive impact on my life. Business is about service. Business is about adding value. It's not about chasing the money. If you do the right things for the right reasons to the right people, the money will come. There's lots of things that we can do in terms of business and mechanics and all that kind of stuff. But bottom line, the foundation has to be on something that you're passionate about, something that you're going to add value and serve people on. And what do you, this whole 5 days and this bonus session is serving you and adding value. I hope you feel it's adding massive value to help you improve your life. This is part of my philosophy on life, on business. Because when you come at it from this point of view, then you're set free. You really, really are. And you join a world that is just so abundant with other people that feel and think like this and act like this. And it's a beautiful place to be. It's such an amazing community of people all over the world. There's many more than you ever think, that just want to serve and just want to help people, want to share their knowledge and their skills or their passions. Or, they've got a mess that they've made into their message, like I did, right? What are the life lessons, and how can I help somebody by sharing that so that they don't go down the same paths I did? When you look at life and business like this, it has a significant impact on how you go about your business. And I just want to share something because, I've said this before, that there's a great book called The Go-Giver. I'll give you the link. And Bob and John put it really, really well. Bob Burg is such an amazing soul. He just lives and breathes the Go-Giver philosophy, and so does Adam. One of Adam's favorite books, and that's been instilled in me. And listen, I want to read out the 5 laws of stratospheric success. And when we talk about stratospheric success, you might look at it as business or financial. We're talking about fulfillment. We're talking about the whole package here, right? This is a book that's only just over 100 pages. I read this in one session. I don't do that with books. I read this in one session, right? And it's a beautiful parable, a fable Here are the 5 laws, and I apply these laws to my business and to my life every day. It changed my life, so I want to share that with you today. The first law, the law of value. Okay, write this down. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. I tell you what, if you just as a business owner applied that law, that philosophy, that value, that belief, it changed everything. Adam, my man. Hey, yeah. Just give you a shout out, brother. I know you are the epitome of the go-giver. So that's the first. If you just applied that, we're talking about contribution, right? Human value. If you applied that, game changer. Second law, the law of compensation. Bob Berg, which has been shared more and more. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Absolutely, and rightly so. Second law is the law of compensation. The law of compensation. Okay. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Sounds pretty reasonable. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. And if you're applying the first law, which was your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment, these two, they'll rock your world. They'll rock your business. They'll rock that human need of contribution. Let's go on to the third law, the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Now look at the examples we've given about if you've got a business and you're stressed about the money and you're chasing the money, people don't even feature in that. Yeah, the mindset is completely warped. You know, you're completely stressed. You're living in complete uncertainty, or you're trying to get to certainty, but you're trying to do it in a way that is just chasing the money. 5 laws are simply epic. Yes, they are, my friend. They are. So if you get back to what am I doing? What am I serving? Who am I serving? Why am I serving them? What improvement can I make to their life? If you get back to that real reason, then you'll start making clearer and more positive choices and decisions and taking the actions required in order to fulfill that. And guess what? You'll get the income in return. Fourth law, law of authenticity. Matt, I tell you what, this got me right here. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. How can I serve better? Absolutely, mate. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And I lost myself in business when I was trying to set things up. I thought it was about having some funky all singing or dancing coaching program. I thought it was about building, incredible whistles and bells online courses. And of course it can all be all of that. But what I realized was me just showing up with my knowledge and my experience. I didn't have to be perfect. I didn't have to have all the frameworks in the world. I didn't have to have, a massive psychology degree. I didn't have to have all those things, because you know what? I have got lived experience that can help people. And we've talked today about frameworks, and then once you get a few frameworks, you know what? You can help anybody. But the most value, in business, we think we have to build stuff and new stuff, but actually just showing up as yourself, like we've done in this 5-day step up, that's the most valuable gift you can give. So as business owners, I really want you to take that one to heart. And the last one is the law of, I always have trouble with this one, receptivity or reciprocity. In other words, the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. So yeah, we can give, but there's a lot of people that kind of give, and then when somebody kind of wants to help them out or, you know, give them an opportunity, they kind of like, well, no, it's okay. It's a two-way street, yeah? We can, if we're abundantly giving to others, then allow them to abundantly give to us too. And we can learn from that. It's a beautiful two-way process. I tell you what, it's a game changer, it's a life changer, this book. I'll put it in the comments. And I'll tell you why this was really important in terms of contribution. I'll give you another side. I know we're running over it. Indulge me. This was so powerful that I use it with something that Brendan Burchard taught me. Yeah, and it taught me it's just a simple thing. It's a simple routine, a habit every day. He said, you've all got phones. Use them for good. Use them for something positive. And he said, use the reminder function in your phone. And this is how you can use that now with your knowledge of the 6 human needs and knowing where you play and knowing where maybe you want to play more of, or you want to shift over, or you want to just remind yourself of you know, significance, but it's a positive significance. It's because I know who I am and my identity, and I know my values, I know what I'm standing for. Just remind yourself of that. You can use this now in what Brendan does. He says, set 3 reminders a day, like in morning, afternoon, and then in evening. Or just pick times when you know actually they're really pertinent. It might be like when you transition from working to going home. You have a little reminder that pops up every day. Just stick it on repeat every day. And it just reminds you of something that's really important to you, and a value, and how to be. I'm going to share with you, I haven't shared these with anybody before, but I'm going to share you the 3 that I've got. And 2 of them are from the Go-Giver, because it impacted how I look at my business, how I look at life, how I look at me, how I look at how I behave. And it reminds me every day. But the very first one is from Tony. Every day, in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Now, there's not enough in the reminder, so every day, every way, getting stronger. This is really important for me, especially first thing in the morning. It's like, yeah, I'm every day I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm developing, I'm absorbing, I'm getting more experience, I'm turning that experience into wisdom, and I can share better, I can be better, I can be a better dad, a better husband, I can serve you guys better, I can be a better mentor, I can be a better coach. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger. That is drummed into me in the morning. Reminder, boom, there it is. The second one is true worth, more value than payment. That's all I can get in the reminder. But my true worth is when I give more in value than I receive in payment. That's my second reminder, and I get reminded of this every single day. Every single day. And it has the same impact every single day. The third one is most valuable gift is you. Every day I get that reminder. Later on, it's my 3rd reminder of the day. I get it and I go, yes. Don't get sidetracked by the whistles and the bells. And remember, you. Without you, without your experience, your knowledge, you showing up, Martin, all that other stuff doesn't matter. It's not even going to happen. So the most valuable gift is you, and remember that. I get that reminder. These 3 reminders I get every day. I encourage you to figure 3 things out for you and stick them in your phone to remind yourself of who you want to be and how you want to be. And the thing about it is, you go, yeah, that's going to get a bit boring after a while, Martin, seeing that every day. I tell you what, you forget. Honestly, I've been doing this for ages. It pops up. It's still always a surprise. It's always a brilliant visual reminder. I go, yeah, need to do that. Not once have I gone, oh God, shut up. Because it means something to me. So as a little bit of an aside that can help you, with getting through your day, in terms of you improving, taking that growth, taking that contribution, knowing where you want to play, in terms of you living your most extraordinary life, the reminders that you want to give to yourself, stick them in your phone, 3 reminders throughout the day, and see how it goes. I tell you what, it's I'm not saying it's going to change your life forever, but it is just a way to stay on point, because we can drift and we can get distracted. Brilliant way of staying on point. So that is, or those are, the 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. And by looking at that, you now know where you play. And you also know where you spend more time. And if that's working for you, great. But if it's maybe not, and there's some stresses, some anxiety in your life, then this framework can help you now go, well, actually, I can shift. I kind of know I need to shift over here. Like I used the example of my client. I need to shift from all this uncertainty, because you know what? It's giving me palpitations here. So if I can get a little bit of clarity and a bit of certainty over just 1 or 2 of those things, actually, you know what? A lot of that's going to go away. So how do I do that? And stop listening to all the what if stories. No, let's just get some certainty and some clarity and some facts, because I can use that. You've now got a framework that you can use for yourself, for others, in helping others. You can use it in your business, use it in your relationships, you can use it in conversation. It's a really powerful framework. Like I said, it changed my life when I figured this out, and I was taught this, and it was like, I've never seen life like this, and now I understand it. So as we've said before, frameworks just makes it easier to understand the world, understand yourself, understand what's going on, understand what to do next. Frameworks help you with success. If you've got a framework in business and it's one that produces success, you systemize it, you put a framework in, and you keep repeating. And then if you bring on more people, you tell them, here you go, here's the process, keep doing that because we get the results. So frameworks and processes help us get results in any shape of business, or professional or personal life. So this is the power of this, and I just want to wrap up